I think we need to prioritize our personal suffering. I think we have to be prepared, in a sense, to be selfish in order to be of service, and to see that selfishness through. Because if we don't prioritize our own self-healing, even over our impulse to help others, I mean, it doesn't mean that we have to be, flagrantly
Perfect.
well, just nasty or whatever.
Oh, right.
I'm not saying you don't drop a pound into the beggar's bowl, or help someone in distress or anything like this. But I do think that we've had an awful lot of people who are reluctant, not courageous, and not self-honest enough, not willing to look at their own individual condition of suffering and then project or transfer it onto others, which can be the world at large or just the person next door. But nonetheless, then that apparently selfless act becomes, of course, a self-serving act, because then I help you, the world or the individual or some segment of humanity, in order to avoid the necessity of me looking at myself. So I think ideally what we need is people who are prepared to do their own self-healing and to, so to speak, fill up the cup to overflowing, do you see? So that the concern about others is genuine. Because not only then will we be more effective in our caring for the world, but it will also come from the heart. It won't go, the heart's not concerned with not being self-honest and not confront and not self-healing and not being self-concerned. In other words, you look after our own garden first, then go into world ecology or whatever, start there.
Otherwise it can become too much of a distraction and not enough something where you're connecting through to really get the benefit from that experience.
Yes, because the quality of the service or the quality of the giving, the quality of the relationship to other people will dictate really the outcome. It's not just quantitative, is it?
No.
And if it were, it would just be logistics, it would just be numbers, it would just be, we could solve matters with how much money or something we could throw at it, and it clearly doesn't work like that. I mean, I'd go further, the thing that, there's only one thing that's going to transform our world into what I think we all heartfeltly and intuitively want it to change into. And we know what that one thing is, don't we?
I missed the question, but I'm presuming it's love.
It's love, yeah. I mean, it's the only way, isn't it? So love has to be the motivating force, and also the mode in which we apply.
And the ability to do it even with your enemy, who you can see.
Particularly, in particular.
Because that's the test which will make you really see the whole as opposed to the separate nature of ourselves, duality.
Which brings us back again, because we will project our enemy onto the outside when we haven't faced the enemy who is ourselves. I mean, this has been, I think, one of the great, perhaps not emphasised enough, insights of the last 40 years of applied human psychology. Human psychology is an extraordinary field, and it's a great resource. And in humanistic psychology and transpersonal psychology and its applications in psychotherapy, we've had thousands, tens of thousands, I don't know if more, it's hard to put a number, of people looking inside and discovering the enemy was within. The nemesis, this archetype, was inside. And then, we can be racist or misogynistic, or we can be against this religion or that political faction or that nationality or what have you. But if you find at the source, the archetypal nemesis within, that fellow is against us. And if we can deal with it, that split, that dissociation, that division in the psyche, then I suggest we don't have the need to transfer it.
Yes, that sort of reminds me almost of the shadows in the cave of Plato, but it's a very different scenario that he was talking about. Yes, our fragmented selves and how to find them and then bring them back together is not that key in work. Looking for outside things is a way to avoid to do that or see it or.
Yes, or maybe there is something about caves and shadows here. I'm thinking more of those rituals in tribes, in tribal life, much of which we don't have anymore, but still there is some in which there's rituals of ceremonies into society through puberty or adolescence, this sort of time when fear is an element, and so therefore shadows in the cave, the vision quest idea, these kinds of things of meeting your those entities that are of support and help to you, but also confronting your fears in an embodied way, as shadows or as masks, for example. These sorts of ceremonies and rituals which introduce the young person into the tribal responsibility is rather important. We don't have anything like that in modern Western society. And so therefore, of course, young people have to create it for themselves, and we know how they do that, and we don't particularly think it's all right, perhaps, or maybe we're starting to think it is. And it becomes so much the norm, doesn't it?
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.